seated today. Letting your sit bones come down on your prop. Your knees can drop low. If you want to wiggle a little bit to sit down, roll those shoulders back. We're just taking a few minutes to settle onto the mat. Let those hands settle on the lap. The shoulders get heavy. Maybe you slowly want to close those eyes or gaze softly at the floor. And take a few minutes to just feel your sit bones connect with the ground below you. Just notice how you can sink into the floor and spread out. Notice how the floor supports you, holds you up. And then from that solid support, feel your spine begin to grow nice and tall. Let those vertebrae stack on top of each other, yearning for the ceiling. Allow your neck and head to rest nicely on top. And then in this nice tall seat, scan your body from head to toe, looking for those little messages. Where does your body want to move? Are there any stiff places or achy places? Are there any little twingy places or crampy places? Any healing areas you want to treat with compassion today as you move? What does your body want you to know before we start today? And moving your focus to your breath, close up those lips and begin to move your breath through your nose. And let it get a little bit deeper and a little bit slower. A slow, deep breath lets our body begin to move away from work and school and move toward our practice, toward a more clear mind before we begin to move. And also through that breath, we're getting a lot more oxygen. This will give us some energy for our practice today. On your next exhale, drop your chin towards your chest, opening up the back of the neck. Hello, neck. How are you feeling today? And then moving the right ear to the right shoulder, hanging out there, letting your elbow get heavy, your shoulder get heavy. Maybe you also want to reach the left hand away from your body, angling toward the ground so that you can open up your shoulder, open up your neck. That's what I meant. If you're just joining us, come on in. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself and just come and join us here. Then we can bring the hand back to the left, the head back to the center. And then let's drop left ear to the left shoulder. Let the hands and elbow get heavy, shoulder comes down. And if it feels okay, maybe you want to reach that right hand away, creating a long line from the fingertips up the side of your neck. Feeling a little bit of a stretch, reminding your head it can move in other directions, then straight forward. We'll bring the hand back to the left and the head back up to center. On your next inhale, let's sweep those arms around and up, reaching high, really stretching your side body. Can you anchor your hips down and extend those fingers out? So today we're going to do a little bit of a different hand position. So from here, we're going to bring our hands together, our palms together, if that feels good. And then fold your hands behind your back. And this is reverse prayer hands. And if it's not feeling good to keep those hands together, maybe you want to separate them and just reach for the shoulder blades instead. That's an option you can choose. And then think about bringing those arms in to hug your head. So when we do reverse prayer hands today, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to stretch the upper part of the arms. Let's bring those hands up. Bring those arms out to the side. Push away that invisible wall just for a few moments. Really push away and activate those arms. And then can you squeeze your shoulder blades together? See if you can grow those shoulder blades closer together in the back. And then let's bring the right arm over top of left. Reaching those hands around and giving yourself a great big hug. We've made it halfway through the day. Relax those shoulders down. And if you choose, you can raise those elbows up. Bring your hands up back to back. And then wrap your right arm around the left into eagle arms, whichever variation you do. You can also stay in that hug. And check back in with that deep, slow breath. Can you feel your breath in your back body in this pose? And then let's open those arms back up. Ooh, just for a moment. And then let's bring left arm over top of right. Is that the other way? It is. The opposite way we just did. Either the hug or the eagle arms, yogi's choice. Take a moment to raise the elbows up. Reconnect with your breath. Notice where your breath comes into your back body. Then we're going to release those arms all the way down. Roll those shoulders back a couple times. And then we'll do it forward a couple times, keeping that symmetry. Roll out the morning. Let's come off any height we have and find our tabletop. Spreading those fingers wide, index fingers forward. Let's add a little bit of movement with some circles over the wrists. Especially if you've been doing a lot of typing this morning, this might feel good. And just notice where the pressure is coming into your palm as you roll around. It's almost like making an ink print of the outside. And then go the other way. Checking it in with the wrists. And also moving the rest of your body. Let's come back to tabletop. Knees can move closer to make this a little easier or back to make it a little farther. We're going to lean our body forward over our knuckles that connect our fingers and our palms. And then you're going to press into that knuckle spot and lift the palm up. We're doing wrist push-ups. And come back down. You can do 3 to 10 of these. We're building some strength in our wrists. This strength is good for yoga arm balances. It's also good for carrying groceries and a lot of other wrist things that I can't think of at the moment. And then we'll move our left hand in the middle, take our right hand and reach up nice and high. Coming down, we're gonna thread the right arm underneath our body, thread the needle as we reach it away, lowering our shoulder on our head. And this top hand can stay here. Maybe it wants to reach out long. So those hips stay high. Maybe press that top hand into the ground and see if you can open your chest a little bit more to the side. That feels good. Returning to that nice, smooth breath. Noticing where you feel that breath in your body. Walking the top back hand back closer to your head. Pressing into the ground, we're going to twist all the way up again to bring that out. And then exhale the hand back down to tabletop. Let's try the other way. Move the right hand in the middle. Sweep the left hand up as we twist our upper spine. And exhale, begin to thread the needle down and through. Bring your shoulder down, your head down. Choosing if you want to keep the hand here or walk it long in front. Maybe pressing into that hand to help you open your chest more to the side. Reconnecting with the breath. Embracing this interesting position of having the sit bones in the air while we stretch out our side and our back. Then bringing the hand closer to the head, pressing into the ground to unravel as we come on up, reach and high, coming back to tabletop. Let's tuck those back toes, push our way back to down dog. So I push away the front of the mat, rise back on my toes and lift the hips high. Those knees can stay bent at first. Bending, we're always bending one leg and straightening the other to walk the dog. And today I want you to think about relaxing your head. So maybe that gaze actually comes toward your belly button, or for me it usually comes toward my knees. That makes down dog feel a bit better in my head. So pushing the front of the mat away, raising the hips high, and then dropping the heels toward the earth. They don't have to touch. You just want that energy going that way. Finding that nice inhale. And exhale. Gazing forward. Let's walk the feet to the front of the mat, bending the knees into a forward fold. Ribs touch the thighs, relax the head. Just really let it hang. Grab hands on opposite elbows. And maybe you want to think about lifting the hips a little higher to stretch the back of the legs. And then maybe sway, side slide a little bit. Experiment with letting the breath move you as you sway. Letting that oxygen enter your body. Letting it help move you around, work out all the kinks from sitting still this morning. And then releasing those hands down. Lift your toes. Set them down nicely. Feel your feet ground into the floor. Push into those feet and let's slowly roll on up to standing. Maybe rolling those shoulders back. Letting that spine stack up nice and tall. Your fingers reach toward the ground. And just check in with how you're feeling after a beginning movement. And kinking ourselves from desks and Zoom screens. We're going to do a few half sun salutations all together to connect our breath and our body. So let's exhale all the air in our lungs. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins, lengthen the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep those hands forward as you come on up. Exhale, hands through heart center. 2 more times like that. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep to rise. Exhale, hands through heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back with your right foot nice and long into a lunge. And we're going to start with lowering our knee down and tucking those toes, coming up into our lunge. Think about squeezing both those legs together, give you some balance. And then lift those arms up high. Reach them through the side body. Let's return to those prayer hands. So bringing the hands together and then reaching them back behind you, bending at the elbows. Remembering if you don't like the hands together, you can just reach for those shoulders and separate those arms. Think about bringing belly button to spine, giving your core a little bit of support. And then we're going to bring the hands down to the mat, tuck the back toe, and come up to high lunge. And this time we're going to belly button to spine, angle the body forward about 45 degrees, reach the arms back, and you're coming into rocket lunge. Nice. Hold that. And then we're going to bring the hands down to frame the foot. And we're going to step back as best you can, finding your down dog. Take a few breaths here. If down dog isn't your thing today, feel free to go to tabletop or child's pose as you feel that breath. Looking forward, we're going to float forward with the right foot. We're going to step that right foot forward as we drop the back knee and tucking the foot. I believe this is the second side. This is the opposite side. So take a moment to bring those legs towards center. Reach those arms up high. Belly button to spine to give your core some support. Let's bring those hands together and reach the reverse pair hands back. Maybe thinking about tucking those elbows in, connecting with that breath. And then we're going to reach those hands down, tuck the back toe, come into high lunge. And then begin to lean forward about 45 degrees, belly to spine, keep that core strong. Reach those hands back and find your rocket lunge. Now these two lunges in a row, I really find this one starts to build the muscle in the front leg. If you have a little bit of shake there, you're building muscle. If it's a lot of shake, you can always put your knee down. Let's frame the foot here. And then take that big step forward into forward fold. Finding your back. And then sweeping your hands forward and up as you reach high. Bringing those hands through heart center. Reaching down by your side so you can stand tall. Checking with how you're feeling. Maybe checking in with any kind of sensation you're feeling in the legs and the hips and the glutes. And we're going to take those same two moves and we're going to try something a little bit different, a little bit of flow. So exhale all of your air. Inhale, reach those hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back with your right foot. Lower the knee. So this next part we're going to do is we're going to flow between the reverse prayer lunge and the rocket lunge. So this is a little bit of or a lot of a balance challenge. So if maybe you want a wall to hold on to or chairs or two little blocks, I invite you to challenge yourself here. Embrace the challenge, embrace the joy in trying something new, and let's give it a go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into reverse prayer lunge. So we're going to inhale as we get here, tuck our back toes. And as you exhale, see if you can come right into rocket lunge, bringing those hands up and around back as you come into rocket lunge. And that's a lot of effort on that back leg. And then inhale, drop the back knee and come back into reverse lunge. So try that whatever level you are. If you're just getting familiar with the movement, if you're fighting with the balance, don't worry about the breath. If you feel that you want to step it up today a little bit, try to inhale one way, exhale the other. And see if your breath can guide the movement. Wherever you are in this, we're building lots of strength in the legs, lots of balance, lots of focus. And after your next rocket lunge, bring down the hands around the foot. We're gonna step back either to down dog or to child's pose. You get to choose what you would like to take here, because we have to do the other side yet, or we want to do the other side. We're going to do the other side to keep everything equal and balanced in our body so we don't get too lopsided there. So if you're in child's pose, let's all meet in down dog. And then we're gonna step the right foot forward, dropping the back knee. And we're gonna try the same movement on the other side, which is an experiment because one side is usually a little bit more coordinated than the other. So let's get started in reverse prayer lunge. With the inhale, you tuck the back toes. And as you exhale, push yourself up, sweeping those hands up and over, coming into your rocket lunge. So you get to choose if you're moving one movement, one breath, or if you're maybe holding in a position a little bit longer, if you don't like moving back and forth. This is your practice. I'm giving suggestions to, I think, about 16 people today. So here's your freedom to do the pose how you want, whether it's flow, whether it's holding, whether it's exploring any kind of movement. You got this. Now after your next rocket lunge, let's bring those hands down to frame the foot. Take a giant step forward. Let's find a forward fold. Rediscover that breath. Then inhale, sweep the hands forward and up. Standing tall. Exhale, hands through heart center. Arms by your sides. Close your eyes and check in. Do you feel a little more symmetrical now that both sides got to do a lot of that strength and active flexibility work on the lower half? Well, the upper half too, doing that prayer hands. Step one long step back on your mat with your left foot. Let's pivot and turn toward the side of our mat so our feet are up nice and long. You're gonna reach those arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, or maybe grab the fingers, roll those shoulders back, reach those hands down, and we're gonna forward fold. That might feel nice if you softly bend the knees as you fold forward. And then once you're forward folded, think about reaching those arms away from your butt. And how far you go, this can depend on muscle, it can be depend on bone structure. All we really matter here is what can we get that sensation, that feeling of pulling your arms away from your body. While you keep trying to breathe through your nose, nice and slow and smooth. And then let's release those hands down. Walking them forward under the shoulders, pushing yourself up. It's like a half lift, wide fold. Bring the left hand in the middle, spreading those fingers. Let's reach up to the right. Similar to what we did earlier in tabletop, gaze can come up to stretch the neck. Maybe you want to really reach open. And on an exhale, let's swing that right arm down, place it on the ground, and bring the left arm up. Really reach, really open that body. And then exhale, come down. We're gonna try one movement, one breath. So inhale the arm up. Exhale, bring the arm down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And keep going to your own breath. Letting the breath move and flow your body as you open that upper spine. I can also feel this in my inner thighs. You notice where you feel it in your body. So we do one more set. And then we're going to bring both hands down. Bend the left knee to the side. Pick up the right toe, pivot the heel so you're flexing your foot to the side, and then sink back down into a half squat. This feels good. Maybe you want to bring your hands to your chest and extend the spine up tall. And maybe challenge yourself to close your eyes. If you're up on your toes like me, my heels then touch the ground. It's a little bit more of a balance. Find that deep inhale, long exhale. And then we're going to switch to the other side. You can walk those hands across or maybe challenge yourself by keeping the hands up. So I'm going to walk my hands over, bend my right knee, pick up my left toes and pivot my foot. So I'm kicking to the side. I usually think of martial arts in this move, into this half squat. And then you can have the hands tented on the floor to help you balance, or bring those hands to heart center. Reconnect to your breath. Feel that oxygen coming into your body, giving you energy, and also bringing you calm. Sometimes as you see what happened to just me, I lost my balance, I brought my hand down. And then we're gonna walk ourselves back on up. So that wide forward fold. And then you can bend the knees and get ready to sweep your arms out to the side as you grow on up nice and tall, pushing yourself to rise. Maybe you want to bring that gaze up to the ceiling. Let's bring the hands to heart center. And then walk those feet in, however you want to. We're gonna get ready for a little bit of balance. So let that left foot, take a moment to have that left foot feel really solid and connected to the ground. Bring out the right foot and let's cross it just on top of the knee. Flexing the foot. So we're making a little triangle. We've done this before laying on the ground. You can choose to stay here, or maybe you want to sit back like you're sitting into a chair. And that might depend a little bit on your knee. You can have this upper leg slide over. And you can have your hands out to the side for balance. Maybe you want to bring them in for prayer. Maybe you want to reach them out for a chair. I want you to explore what arms, what they feel like, how they feel different, and which ones you want today. And you sit a little lower. Find that breath. Embrace that balance. And then pushing into that standing leg. Let's see if we can rise up. Slowly release the foot and purposely, mindfully set it down. Shake that out. So we're gonna work with this balance pose through the next few weeks. We're gonna add on to it. That's where we're leaving it today. So let's balance over on the right side though. Gotta keep it symmetrical. Bring up the left leg and let's cross that left foot just above the knee. I like to flex my foot. It helps make my leg feel better. You can stay here. This is a balance. You can choose to sit down into chair. And if it's a real balance challenge, feel free to use a wall to help you out or a chair. And then explore those arms again. Notice the difference between the arms resting on the leg, the arms in heart center, or the arms like a chair. Explore them and choose the one that works best for you today, that feels best in your body. Really feel that right foot connect to the floor. And then push into that right foot as you push on up. Release the leg and mindfully put it down. Let's shake that out. It's a lot of leg work we did today. Let's walk about up to the front of our mat. bring those feet out to the side, toes out, heels in. One more little bit of leg work. We're gonna reach those hands up, hands together, and come all the way down to our yogi squat. Nice strong feet, almost like you can push yourself up with your feet, but you're allowing your sit bones to come down. And your squat can be anywhere along the line. You get to choose what feels best in your body. See if you can reconnect with that breath. And then we're gonna bring the hands down to the mat. Have a seat on our sit bones. Walk our hands behind us so our fingers face the toes. We're gonna bring the legs in, belly button to spine, and see if you can give yourself a nice long back. So right here, this is some work in the core, some work in the arms. You can stay here. Maybe you want to raise your feet up off the floor. Notice how that feels. Belly button to spine, nice straight back. Perhaps release your right hand reaching long towards your toes. Notice how that feels for balance. Perhaps play around with the left hand, seeing if you can find your boat. Notice what that feels like. And if you can keep your back straight, if you want to, you can add the extended legs as well. I do that, my back starts to round, so I'm going to keep my legs here. Belly button to spine. Check in with the breath. My legs are shaking a little bit with each other. It's a lot of leg work we did. And then slowly we're going to release that. Bring the hands behind the back. Take the feet nice and wide like the mat. Let's drop the knees from one side to the other. And return to that flow breath. Inhale across with the legs. And exhale the other way. Maybe you want to play around with a different pattern by inhaling across. Exhale and hold. Inhale across. Exhale, hold. Pick whichever pattern you like the best, but see if you can match your breath with the movement and get your body in sync with each other. Now for your next one, we're going to bring those feet in. Knees up, the feet are hip width or maybe a little wider. We're going to walk back onto those forearms, coming all the way down on our back, getting ready for bridge pose. So those feet are close enough to our sit bones that if we curl, we can touch our Achilles heels. We really want to feel our feet here. So can you press your feet into the ground and just notice the strength by pressing your feet into the ground actively. And then release the work with the feet. So we're going to really press our feet into the ground and we're going to squeeze our glutes as soon as we raise our hips. So inhale deep. On an exhale, push your feet into the ground. Begin to raise your butt. Squeeze your butt muscles together and use that to keep raising your hips up. So you feel lots of energy pushing down the feet, lots of energy squeezing the butt muscles together to lift the hips. And you can also push those arms down into the ground to raise the chest. If you know the variation of walking your hands together, you can do that. And with each inhale, think about inflating your belly. And with each exhale, reconfirm your push into the feet and the raise of the hips. So you're actually flowing with your breath here as well. Inhale is a deep belly breath. Exhale is a push and a muscle engagement. When you're ready to come down, see if you can bring your upper back down first. Then your low back, mid back, low back, and glutes. What we're trying to do is just see if we can start to move the spine a little bit more individual at a time. And take a moment here to recapture your breath. It's very common to hold breaths in back bends or to find them a little tricky. We're going to do this one more time. If you know wheel and you want to do wheel here, you are very welcome. Other than that, we're going to do the same thing again. So prepping, feeling your feet, feeling your arms connect to the ground. Inhale, and as you exhale, push into your feet, lift your butt, squeeze your glute muscles to raise the hips nice and high. Maybe you want to push your arms into the ground, help the chest raise up a little. And then once you're settled in your bridge shape, think about your breath flow. Inhale, let your belly raise. Exhale, re-engage the glute muscles to lift the hips, press the feet into the ground. Just notice how that breath work can help support you in this bridge pose. When you are ready to come down, see if you can move that spine nice and slow. Upper back, mid back, low back, and butt muscles come all the way down. It really helps the core there too. And just take a moment here to notice how your back feels on the mat now that we did that bridge a couple times. Is it picking up or sinking down in different places than a few moments ago? How have those connection points changed? Do you like or dislike the sensation? When you're ready, you can let those knees drop out to the sides, bring the soles of the feet together, opening up your legs into a nice diamond shape. You can choose where you want those heels. You want them closer in or further out. That's just going to stretch slightly differently in your legs. I want you to experiment with that. And then bring your hands onto your belly. We're going to practice a few balloon breaths to transition us into our yin poses. So you should talk about balloon, inhaling the balloon, admiring the balloon, exhaling the balloon. This time I want you to think about a count, just something a little different. So as you inhale your belly full, I want you to count to 4. So it might be something like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and then hold for 2, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4, and then hold for 2. So try that pattern with your belly breath today. Inhale that belly up for 4. You're gonna hold for 2. Exhale for 4. Hold for 2. I'm gonna give you a moment here to try that on your own without my numbers messing you up. And just pay attention to the sensation of the count as you feel that breath help you move from the more higher level energy part of class into the more calm tension release part of class. Now for your next cycle of breath, no rush. We're going to bring those legs together and bring the knees into the chest, giving ourselves a little hug. We're going to keep the right knee into the chest and bring the left foot down to the mat. Or maybe you want to extend the left leg long. Maybe on an exhale, seeing if you can bring that right shin a little bit closer in. Asking yourself, can I do a little bit less with my arms and still keep that leg in? And because it's icy, you don't always do this in holds, let's actually work our ankle a little bit. So begin to mark ankle circles with your right foot in one direction. This can be a little tougher when we're not using the floor to anchor our foot. We're using our active range of motion here. And let's roll the ankle the other way. This just helps keep our ankles mobile, which is really helpful during icy season. You may have heard me when people were coming in talk about how I completely fell on my butt all the way down yesterday. So I'm aware of these ankles at the moment. And I'm letting go of your hands, keeping your shin into your chest. See if you can switch knees. Bring the left knee in, right foot comes to the ground. Maybe it reaches out. And then wrap your arms around the left shin, tucking it in. Settling in. Maybe bringing it closer on an exhale. Asking yourself, how can I do less work with my hands? My arms and still keep the leg in. And then let's begin to roll the ankle one way. As big of circles as you can make. If your ankle's shaking, it's just getting used to new movement pattern. This can be hard to move our ankles all by themselves. Then switch directions. Giving all of the different directions there. Time in the sun. Oh, this way's a little harder for me. Loving all the differences in your ankles. Then bring your other knee back into the chest. Maybe bring those knees out so they're 90 degrees. Feet are off the floor. Let's open those arms to a cactus, or a big cactus if you have room, maybe a T if you choose. And then drop the legs over to the left side, coming into a twist. And this can be a relaxed twist, so the legs can separate, the shoulder can float. Maybe you want to look over in the direction of the right side. And it is a twist, so see if you can have your back kind of yearning toward the floor and your legs learning toward the other piece of floor. So your upper body's going one way, your lower body's going the other. And then pay attention to your back body with every exhale. Do you notice any subtle differences as you allow yourself some time to stay in this twist? Some of the biggest changes in our yin poses actually can take a few minutes to appear. Of letting gravity and time and our breath allow our body to sink a little bit deeper or get settled. Release tension from our active part of class. Then bring your head back to center. Let's bring the legs back to center. And then let your knees drop toward the other side. Feeling the twist. Maybe letting your head gaze over to the left side. Let those knees drop down. Bring your attention to your back body and notice with your exhale the glacial slow changes in this twist. that come with each little exhale here. So we just let our body sink and release some tension that we built up during class. Some tension's good tension, building all of that muscle strength we did earlier in that leg work. We needed that muscle tension to help us move. But now, when we're in stillness, we can say, thank you, legs, for all of that work you did earlier, for that muscle building and balance. Now you can let go of doing all of that and just be. And then slowly let's come back to center. You can sweep those arms along their sides just like a snow angel, bringing those wings down. Back of the palms come to the floor. Maybe notice the temperature of that floor. Reach those legs long on your yoga mat, heels to the corners. Maybe let your heels rock and shake out those legs a little bit. Shake out that last little bit of tension. And let those legs grow still. Perhaps you want to walk those shoulder blades in as you set your upper back down, tuck the chin into the chest, reach the neck long, set your head down, find a nice resting place. And all together, let's exhale our air. Inhale deep and long through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Letting this practice go. Maybe try doing that 1 or 2 more times. Maybe watching where your body touches the mat and what that big exhale brings to those connection points between your body and your mat. We've built a lot of strength today. We've built a lot of end range motion in our flexibility. And now this is our time to bring a little restoration, a little bit of restoring and stillness to our body and our mind. If you have time, you're welcome to stay here longer. 15-minute shavasanas when we're warm are beautiful things. If you're having to get to class, get to work, you can begin to wiggle those toes, wiggle those fingers. Maybe rock that head from one side to the other side. Reach those arms up overhead, stretch fingertips to toes. Great big noon hour stretch. It's my favorite thing. Releasing with an exhale. Planting one foot on the mat and then the other. Slowly roll on over to your side. Using your arm as a pillow. And taking this moment here to think of one thing today that you are proud of. And then plant your top hand into the ground. Slowly come up to a comfortable seated position, keeping those eyes closed. A few more minutes of keeping the focus just on you. Sitting up nice and tall. Moving the focus back up to the top of your head. And scanning slowly down through your body. Looking for the messages, hearing the messages your body wants you to know. about what changes were created with this class today, with the movement medicine you gave yourself. Let's bring those hands to heart center. Tuck the chin into the chest. One last inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Letting go of class, however it went. You can slowly let those eyes open and enjoy the rest of your day.